You do that yourself? Yeah, bang it in the oven, mate. Raised by thugs, schooled by killers. You know, I've sat there with one of my nephews, showed them the skills. I've went into enemy territory with one of my nephews, showed them what they've got to do when the shit hits the fan. Sat there on the step for 3 or 4 hours waiting for a victim. Sat him off. It's the way it is out there when you've got people harassing your family. You've got to school your kids on how to kill someone. Mad. So, you know, when you plant a seed like that in a young mind, when you take that young mind on a recce with you, when that young mind sat right next to you while your victim is a foot away from you walking past you, and you're telling that mind, that's how easy it is.
But your manager has so many.
You've got to understand that that mind has been watering that seed for a long time now.
Let's try again with Grammarly.
4 or 5 years.
First, Grammarly's AI finds opportunities to help your idea stand out.
Yes, NMA 777. That's the next generation of the G family.
Next, Grammarly makes the changes so your message can work its magic.
What's your life advice, lad? Says yes. Don't lose your identity.
Alright, let's wrap this up.
The only advice you need, stay in touch with yourself. Don't give up your identity to nothing or no one.
You did it. One promotion coming up. Right what you need.
Got another knobhead in here. Oh, it's the same dickhead. Thinks he's special because he's got 184,000 followers. You called yourself JD Sports not long ago, didn't you, Helmy? You're not special because you've got a couple of 100,000 followers. An idiot. Leg it. You know, all that doesn't impress me, lad. You may have 1 million followers because you're a complete dickhead. Do you understand what I'm saying? Ready for whatever. You're not even ready, are you? You've never even been uncomfortable in the last 20 years, mate. Sitting there like you're ready for a war. As soon as your house gets burned, you know what fucking war is, lad, trust me. Know what I'm saying, people? You got people that can talk a good one and not back it, and then you've got people that can talk a good one and back it. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? The people that can back it when they want to, not when others tell them to. The other ones just can't back it, they just talk it. When it comes to the crunch, snitch on you. Honest to God, the amount of these big so-called hard knocks, mate, and they're running their mouth off about yous, and they're chasing you down with the gangs in the cars, and then you just sit on him, and his arse falls out of him, begging for his life, dancing for you. I've had hairy ass gangsters from Liverpool dancing like women on the spot for me. Shit scared because I've got one of them in my hand. Dance more. Ask Keith Dunn. He used to think he was a hard knock, didn't he, Keith Dunn, years ago? I had him dancing like a... And I was only 17 or something at the time. I got it from a Western years ago when I was a kid. I seen some cowboy saying dance, shooting the floor. So I was sitting the Cockwell. So basically I'm sitting a rat off in the Cockwell out. The Cockwell Inn basically was the Farley's little golfer, Mick Donnelly. He owned the Cockwell Inn. And it became like the night spot after the clubbing on the Saturday. So every little dirty drug dealer in Anfield you could get at this place. So I'm just getting tethered by the Farleys and all this, so I'm regularly sitting them off, waiting for opportunities. So I'm sitting the Cockwell off, got a piece on me, the way I am, got me bike parked round the corner in a different entry, and I'm parked up in a street, right facing the alleyway to the back of the Cockwell. And every car that slams on will slam it here and go down this entry into the entrance to the party that's there every Saturday night. So I'm sat in the street facing and I'm hid behind this Z3, a BMW convertible. I'm just sat there on the floor in the shadows, being there for a couple of hours, just waiting for the target to come in or come out. Do you understand what I'm saying? Out of nowhere, 3 birds and this dickhead pop up right in front of me. I'm sat behind their car hiding. All of a sudden, they're right next to the car. He just appeared from nowhere, and I'm there with a thing on me, and he started to give me shit. What are you doing by your car? I'm saying, lad, just go away. I'm just trying to tell him straight, just don't bring me bang on here, kid. Do you understand what I'm saying? So he's in the street now, and because they're pissed, he's got this little rat called Kelly Young. That was his bird at the time, Kelly Young, from Pinehurst Road. You know Youngie? Little gang of drug dealers, Whitney, Murphy's and all them shithouse rats. Well, he was with this girl called Kelly Young and she had a mouth on it. Ask anyone that knew them. Wow. So now I'm on a mission in this street with a piece on me with this Keith Dunn, his bird and his sisters screaming heads off at me. I had no choice but to start backing away into the entry because they just weren't going. They were off the barnet screaming. But this Keith, juice said, fanny head haircut, you know, one of them from Quiffs. Thought he was the dog's bollocks, flying round on his juice, sunbedded up with his roof down and shit. This is the type of kid he was. So I'm in the entry now with this little shithouse, and he's a unit. No, say hello to my Beretta with a quiet one on it. Moving sharp these days, you see people. Who do you think you are? As soon as you see that, he went, Darren, I didn't know it was you. What do you mean you didn't know it was me? I've just been telling you to get away. I didn't know it was you, Darren. You better dance now. Don't you want me to dance? No, you better dance properly. Raving in the entry for about 10 minutes, getting tired and that, and carry on. His bird at the entry going, he's got a gun. I'm not lying, lad. Just left him froze like a statue. Burst out, got on my bike and went, gone. Never sat the Cockwell off from that position again. Had to change my sit-off, best and all that. There was a few boozers where you could get these little cretins, these so-called big gangsters in your area. And I've always been that loner. I've always been that kid that sat your house off. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've never had them numbers. I've never worked with big numbers. Do you understand? I've always done my mad shit by myself. So I'm not scared to go and sit in your street for 4 hours and wait for you to come in. That's just the way I've always been. It's the way I've always approached it. You understand what I mean? And that can be, you know, that's true. Just go and ask him. He was begging David Burke, Because Berkey was off our estate, and he always used to go out with Berkey or something like that, or they used to get on the yayo together. I had Berkey, I started thinking to myself, Selma wants 7 grand. Selma wants 7 grand, or I'm going to blast them. This is what I started to do with them all. Fucking great, were I? But you know when you're getting persecuted, well not persecuted, but you know when you're just getting targeted by this local group of gangsters and the Farleys, and they're the dominant force in the area, and the reason they hated me was because I ended up getting with another gangster's daughter and then started moving with these gangsters. So they hated me for it and targeted me for it at every opportunity. And as you grow up, you know, when you're getting bullied by a gang of dickheads, you grow up, don't you? You know, if you've been a kid who's been getting tethered by a group of dickheads, you know where I'm coming from. When you're growing up, mate, you know you can deal with these shitheads. You know it. They know it's why they stop bullying you. But you don't forget that shit, do you? You just don't forget it, mate. Anyone that's ever bullied you, you never forget them, mate. Anyone that's ever helped you when you were a kid, you never forget them. Everyone who helps and hurts you as a child, you will always remember. And so will they. If they've hurt you as you were growing up, they will know. And that's why I keep on saying to you, like, you know, you can leave people to it and they'll ruin themselves with what they're living with. If you conduct yourself where you're harming people and say due to your harassment, your targeting, your bullying or whatever, that kid ends up in a mess and you're buzzing. Yeah, you're buzzing now, but in 4 years, 5 years down the line, that's going to impact on you massive. Trust me, lad. You've got to live with everything you do to people. You know, I've got to live with the fact that I got involved in a murder of an innocent man. I live with that. You know, you can't just forget about this shit. Unless you're sedating yourself, taking drugs, taking medications, you can ignore all that bullshit because you're sedated out your skull. But when you're straight, real, conquering fears naturally instead of using substances, trust me, you can't leave none of it behind. So if you look at Craig Barker getting shot dead, and then you look at David Regan getting shot dead, Craig Barker had never sold a drug. Craig Barker had never committed a crime. Craig Barker had never been involved in anything to do with crime, drug dealing, gangbanging. He just weren't that type of kid. He was a lad on the estate that chilled with us every so often, but he weren't involved in nothing. And then you've got David Regan, that had been distributing drugs for Willie Moore all his life. Do you understand what I'm saying? Two different. So although they were both innocent in the sense that they had nothing to do with the situation, in reality, the world's a better place without him. The world's not a better place without Craig. Do you understand what I'm saying? What was Craig doing? Managing an under-12s football team, coaching them 3 times a week, getting them into a Sunday league. That's what Craig was doing as an 18-year-old lad, fully qualified coach for under-12 football teams. And that's where he was going with it. He was like a tactician, he was like a manager, like a coach sort of personality. That's what he was. Never harmed nothing in his whole life. That other fella who got held responsible for the death of Craig, he'd been harming people all his life. All his life. You know, and he was one of them that you see all the times. A shithouse painter and decorator, tapped into the drug world, started using steroids, thinking he was a gangster, and now he's finished. So yous lads, who are getting dragged in with the temptation of money because your work's drying up or this, that and the other, just consider what the f you're doing.